R. There you go.
Hey everyone, good. Welcome to our new segment here for Allstar Tactical. We're going to be doing these on the local Rochester page, so make sure you follow that page because we're going to do these every couple days. I'm here with Kevin from Mod My Mods, a great local Rochester resource for computer mods and upgrades to your PC. He's actually going to be helping us build a new CAD PC for us to use here, so we got some cool stuff coming up. What I wanted to do is these segments, as I said in my last live video, we've got a lot of new shooters. A lot of new customers, a lot of people picking up these new to them firearms, and people who've never even owned a firearm, never even shot a firearm. So we're going to start off today with kind of an intro to shotguns and a little home defense on shotguns, and we'll probably move into ARs, pistols, and we'll see where it takes us. And if you guys have any suggestions for topics, post them in the description, and we'll go from there. Cool. All right, so let's get started. Let's talk about the firearm safety rules. We're going to go over this every single one, and it's very important here. So I'm going to pop up my little thing.
Get out of the way.
All right. Number one, treat all firearms as if they're loaded. So, okay, we all know about firearms handling. It does not matter whether it's a toy, whether it's a loaded shotgun, loaded handgun, whatever. Consistent gun handling is the sign of a professional. So, number one, treat all firearms as if they're loaded. Number two, never point the firearm at anything you're not willing to kill, destroy, or purchase. Okay, now, these are my elaborations on the typical NRA rules. So, I feel that a little bit needed to be tweaked because we show importance to, when we're on a square range or things like that, we need to be aware that, wherever you don't want a errant, negligent discharge to go. All right. Number three, keep your finger somewhere other than the trigger until your sights are on target and you've made the conscious decision to shoot. All right. Now everybody's heard the keep your booger hook off the trigger, keep your finger off the trigger, etc. Why did I change this? Because in our minds, it's much easier to develop muscle memory to consciously put your finger somewhere, the exact same spot. On for instance, on a handgun, I have a spot that's exactly between the slide and the frame that my finger goes to every time. Because this is off the trigger, this is off the trigger, that's technically off the trigger and a bad idea. But I know every time it goes in that spot. So on every firearm that I have an exact spot that I use, okay? And trigger, so off the trigger until your sights are on target and you've made the conscious decision to shoot, okay? So that means our finger does not go onto the trigger until we have made that decision to shoot, okay?
Is there any difference between putting your trigger on an AR or a pistol? It doesn't matter, right?
Nope. So you'll find that spot that is perfect for you to put it somewhere. All right, so number four, be sure of what is in front of, behind, to the left, or to the right of your target. All right, basically be aware of your target and all of its surroundings. All right, so that's those are our four rules for firearm safety. We're going to go over them every time, and then we're going to make sure you know them. Okay, all right, let's get started. All right, so what I've got here is I've got a Remington 870, one of the last ones still here. This one isn't even for sale, it's for a customer waiting to pick it up. So I'm going to, hey, customer, hopefully you're not too mad about me taking your gun apart and putting it back together. All right, so right now we're going to talk about some parts of the gun and talk about administratively loading and unloading the firearm. All right, so with our shotgun here, we've got our stock in the back, obviously our trigger guard and trigger in front. We've got our fore end, which is also used to close the chamber and pump the gun. And we've got our barrel on top, and this one has a bead sight up in front there. All right, so on these guns, they all have this locking feature underneath. We have our safety on the Remingtons here as well. That's a push button safety. All right, and you got a red color on the one side. You can see it kind of there, and safe has no color.
Red is dead.
On the Mossbergs, your safety is actually on top. I personally prefer the Mossbergs because when I shoulder the gun, my thumb is right here on the firearm. Okay, so that's a personal preference and maybe something you want to look into or talk to one of our guys about. All right, so let's talk about first opening the gun and verifying that it is both clear and unloaded. All right, so we're going to push this little release here. All right, and that's going to allow us to open the chamber like that. All right, so I'm going to visually and physically inspect that there is no round in the chamber, and I know that this gun is clear. All right, so when we go to load these guns, especially on these, it covers the area that you're going to load the to. All right, so the next here, let's talk a little bit about how we're going to hold these as well. All right, so with a shotgun, we're going to want to put it right into our shoulder and pull it into our shoulder. All right, we're going to want to get down and really get a good face purchase on your stock here on the comb. All right, and then we're going to use that bead. We're going to put the bead on the target where it needs to go, and we will push the trigger from there. Okay, so on these, you know, I mentioned putting my finger somewhere. These have a nice little sort of roll pin hole here. That's a nice place to kind of remember to put it. All right, so when the action's open, this is loose. All right, this does not play into it. Okay, so we're going to close the action. Let's talk about administratively loading this. Now, when we talk administratively loading, this is possibly in our house. This is possibly getting ready to shoot. This is not, say, a emergency reload or things like that. We're not even going to go over that. Okay, I suggest taking a shotgun class. Hopefully, you'll be able to host some good ones like West Doss or you know, some good people to come and take a shotgun class, but that is above and beyond what we're going over right now. Just general safety, administrative loading and unloading, so hopefully we don't have to use these. All right, so with this closed now, we're going to take a look at underneath here. Under here, we've got our lifter. All right, that is what is going to take those shells and put them up into the chamber to load. All right, now you can see in front here, I've got a bunch of what's called snap caps. All right, these are inert shells. They're not shotgun shells. I recommend that everybody purchase a set of these. They're great to have in your home and practice this. All right, you never want to practice or clean your gun around any live ammunition. All right, this is good safety practice. Good to have these if you're going to dry fire or if you're going to just practice loading and unloading. Get yourself some of these snap caps. All right, and if you're interested, call us. We'll get them ordered and we'll get some to you.
They come in all sorts of different sizes, calibers. You know,
yep,
2.5
for
3
everything.
inch, whatever.
Not only shotgun, but for all firearms.
Absolutely.
They make them. So, all right. So we're going to take the one here, and we're going to push the lifter up, and you can see that orange follower. That's where we're going to load this shell. Push it up into there, and that's it. We'll let go. Take our next one. Push it up into there. So we're just going to continue to do that in order to load the firearm. I believe these hold 4. So as you can see, when I go to load the next one, it won't go, so we know we're full. All right. Now we can use our release here, and I'll let you watch the chamber. When I pull it back, you can see that it automatically popped one of those shells onto that lifter. All right. When I pull it forward, it is now loaded. Do I know it's loaded? Well, we can check. All right, I can push my little release slightly, and I can look at, I can feel it. All right, now let's talk about why I'm feeling it. Why did I say visually and physically check the chamber? All right, 2 reasons. 1, do we know if there's going to be light when I'm around? Absolutely not. All right, so if I get in the habit of always checking, all right, do I feel this? Yep, feel the shell. It's loaded. All right. Now, if this was going into a wall safe or a place for you in personal protection, we're going to grab another one and we're going to backload that chamber. All right, so now we got a tube full of 4, 1 in the chamber. This gun is loaded right now. All right, for those of you with kids who may not want to keep 1 in the chamber, you can, one not bad way to do it would be to actually be easier to talk about that once we get this unloaded. All right, so let's talk about unloading these shotguns. All right, there's 2 different ways we can do it here. We can come underneath, all right, and see these. You can see kind of in the video there's 2 feelers on either side. There's that's what's holding it into the tube. All right, absolutely the most easiest option is to keep our fingers away from the trigger and we're going to just rack the shotgun, and I'm going to send them at Kevin here. He's going to catch them. All right, so we're going to...
That didn't really...
Nope. We're just going to rack it until they come out and nothing more. I'm going to leave it open visually, physically, and check that chamber to make sure that we're empty. All right, so now that I've unloaded it, we have an unloaded firearm here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about one possible condition to keep this firearm in if you're not comfortable keeping it fully loaded. All right, so I'm going to take them, I'm going to reload the tube. Put my 4 in the tube. All right, I'm going to open the chamber, and I've got one sitting in there now. Now I'm going to turn it over, take that one out. All right, now with my chamber open like this, this would be not a bad way to keep it. All right, what you can do is in a quick situation, I can take the shell, toss it right in through that chamber, and it's loaded. Okay, so again, this is sort of a little bit more advanced. Might be something you want to look into when you're taking classes or something like that. Okay, so second way we can unload the shotgun now is I can take this lifter here, and I'm going to push up on the lifter. All right, and I'm also going to come in and I'm going to release these shells. Okay, now it's not always easiest to do on some of them, and what it does is it releases it. It looks like on this one, this lifter does not go up high enough for it to come out and actually unload it that way. So I'll push it back in, and unfortunately this one is just going to have to be racked through. All right, and as you notice, I'm pushing that release every time. That's not the case when you're actually firing the shotgun, and I'll show you here. Okay, so nothing in the gun right now. Visually, physically inspect that it's empty. Let's pretend I just loaded a shell. Okay, safety off. Bang. All right, that trigger is going to release that to go to the next one. Okay, bang, bang, etc. All right, so shotguns are simple. All right, there's not a whole lot to them. There's not a whole lot functioning them. They don't take a lot of muscle effort, and they don't. There's not really complicated. The old point and shoot kind of applies here. All right, and as far as cleaning them, not really all that difficult either. Okay, these come apart pretty easily, and anything more in depth than this, you would probably want to bring it to somebody like us to take apart. So a quick and dirty clean, get yourself a bore snake. All right, they're cheap, and all you're going to do is you're going to open this up here. Drop your bore snake in with a little cleaning solvent on it, pull it out the end. That's it. Maybe a little oil, pull it out the end. Okay. We offer cleaning services. You can take them apart. These barrels, some of you guys that bought the combos, these barrels come off with a quick turn. I'm just taking this cap off the end like that. All right. We're going to open our action. We're just going to pull this barrel right off. All right. That's another way to clean it. All right, clean it like that, or switch to your 28-inch barrel to do some trap shooting. All right, but we'll put this 18-inch barrel back on. Comes back on. Make sure it goes around that ring. There we go.
Now, when you're talking about cleaning and lubricating a shotgun like that, are there key places that should be lubricated, that should have a certain amount of oil, or are these pretty much good to go?
They're pretty much good to go. Typically, you're going to want some oil on what rides. Okay, your bullet. Think like your car. Anything with metal-to-metal contact should have some sort of lubrication on it. All right. So, any other questions? You guys feel free to give us a call if you're unsure about something. Almost all my guys here are well versed in it. Okay. What else? All right. I'm gonna put this down for a sec. Well, let's discuss types of ammunition real quick. All right, and then we'll be done. So, a couple options you've got. You've got your buckshot. Okay, 00, 000, things like that. You've heard all those. Those going to be large BBs. A few of them in there. All right. Your next type of load might be a target load or a bird load. Those are small, lots of small pellets. All right. Those after that, you've got something like a slug. All right, and that's going to be barrel dependent. All right. You've got sabot slugs and rifled slugs. All right. So that's going to be very dependent on your barrel. All right, and there's plenty of great dedicated personal defense rounds for shotguns. All right, there's Winchester has the PDX-1, which is actually a couple of BBs and a small slug in one. All right, and last thing I'll bring up here is that, you know, while shotguns probably are a kind of a point and shoot, it's not that you're making a blast radius like this. Okay, most of the time, even with buckshot or even birdshot, you're talking like a group of like that at house distances. All right, so be aware of that. And be aware that slugs have a lot of energy through them. All right, I probably wouldn't be loading my home defense gun with a slug that was not designed as a personal defense slug.
So with that shotgun that's right here, obviously just kind of like your standard issue.
Yep.
What is the preferred round that'll go through that? Can you shoot anything through it, or does
So
it...
that's a 12 gauge with a smooth bore barrel. You can shoot pretty much anything through it. Off the top of my head, I can't remember which of the slugs can go through rifled and which ones don't. But if somebody needed to know that, give us a call, and I'll make sure I get that information in my head. But as far as something like this for personal defense, I would grab some of those PDX, some 00 buckshot. It would be absolutely perfect for a home defense round. This is a Remington 870. Mossberg has the 500. I don't have any semi-autos here to kind of discuss those, so maybe we'll do that in like a shotguns part 2 video, and we'll talk about semi-autos because they're kind of their own animal. But like I said, any questions, go ahead and shoot us a message, and we're going to keep trying to do these. Not because you know, I'm looking to have my face on any more cameras lately, but I really want to make sure that our customers, especially our new customers, have a good resource to be able to watch and get some of this information. So we're gonna repost these on our YouTube channel as well. So feel free to go ahead and subscribe on that. And once again, check out Mod My Mods. Go to their website, and Kevin helped me out with getting my my cool intro video and all that stuff going as well. So we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks.
1. Sick.
M.
M.